Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that'll help you become your best self. And today we are talking about how to be nice when we don't feel like it. Kindness despite mood. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on social media. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo on both Instagram and TikTok, and I would love to hear from you. You're also welcome to send me an email to realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, progress, feedback, or topic suggestions, whatever you have, I would love to hear from you and create a relationship via email. If you would prefer to submit a topic suggestion, but not like directly to me, there is a link in the show notes below for an anonymous survey where you can submit all the topic suggestions that you would like. Down there, you could also click to sign up for my weekly newsletter that comes out every Wednesday in the afternoon/evening time. And I think there's other stuff down there, but go ahead and just check it out when you have time. But let's go ahead and jump right in to today's episode, which again is all about how to be nice when we don't feel like it, kindness despite mood. So I know that I am not alone in having to force myself to be nice when I am not in the mood to do so, like for sure. Whether it's because the other person triggered some intense feelings in me, or they were rude or disrespectful, or I'm just having like a hard day, right? And having trouble like even showing myself kindness. Like, whatever the situation, I know that it can be tough to muster up the niceness when you just really aren't feeling it, right? You're just like, today is not the day. It is not the day for me to be super nice to everyone. And I know sometimes we make jokes with people like at work or our friends are like, this is like, do not get in my way, or a lot of people have the joke of, I'm not nice to anyone until I have coffee or any of these like little funny things. But just in general, I know that we've all been there and it doesn't matter like how sweet or nice you are or how much of a Christian you are or how much of like some sort of proper person that you are. It doesn't matter. We've all had that moment where we just didn't want to be nice. It just felt like it was too much or the person didn't deserve it because they're going off on us or we were just having the worst day and it didn't feel like we had to be nice because we were going through so much crap in our lives. So I know that it's a very relatable thing. It's okay if you don't want to admit it. That's totally fine. Keep it a secret. But I know that we've all definitely dealt with this. But it's important that we know how to be nice when we don't feel like it. I feel like it's a skill that we all should have so that we aren't going around just being mean to me, just being mean willy nilly for no reason. And I say no reason because you're like, well, no, my excuse is I'm having a bad day. That's an excuse. That's not a real reason. You control what you do, what you say, how you act. And so it's really just an excuse. But again, it's important we know how to do so, especially if we are needing to like be the bigger person or diffuse a situation where it's just really going sideways and we need to figure out something to change that right away. Even more important, we need to be nice to others when we are in a bad mood because other people do not deserve the backlash of us having a bad day and taking it out on them. They absolutely do not deserve that. A classic example would be someone rolling into a coffee shop or restaurant and just being super rude to the wait staff and for no apparent reason, probably because they have their own problems and struggles that they're going with, but they will just project all of their feelings onto someone else because it's just easier. But it's just not fair. And I know some people might think it doesn't matter. Like sad as this is, I know that some people might think it doesn't matter because if you're rude to a stranger, you'll never see them again. But that shouldn't be your excuse to be unkind. That's actually really terrible. Let's just be honest. It's really terrible. So don't be that person that's like, oh, it's fine. I'll never see him again. Because what if you do see them again, right? You hear those crazy stories of like, you met someone and they were like, not doing well. And years later, you saw them again and they're doing so well. Or they end up being the person that's on that panel of people interviewing you for a job or some sort of crazy coincidence where they come back around. Or I know some people believe in like karma. I just believe in, you putting out what you want to receive. all that kind of stuff. And so hopefully some of that will convince you that being mean to strangers is not an okay thing to do. But yeah, it can be so easy to project your emotions onto someone else because it's much easier to do that than to take the time to tap into self awareness and like really ask yourself, what the heck is going on here? Why am I so charged up right now? Like really trying to get down deep and be like, what is going on? What is causing me to like what stimulus have I like, had like been experienced, what situation has happened for me to feel this way, for me to want to react and respond this way, right? And this is also a reminder that emotions aren't bad. I feel like I need to make this reminder more often because they aren't bad. I know a lot of people see them as bad, and some people might say that this is the reason they don't want to feel their emotions because it causes them to react more and get all caught up and turned around and trying to understand themselves. I've definitely heard that excuse before. It's just like, oh, I don't want to deal with emotions because there's a lot to unpack and understand, and it all seems useless because I still don't understand it in the end anyway. Believe me, I've heard all the excuses. Um, but I would just say the more time that you spend breaking down your emotions and your responses and your reactions, the easier it becomes like over time. It's just a skill that can be learned like many other skills in life. So just take if you just take the time to really be like, why am I feeling like this? Why do I feel like I want to just like yell at everyone that I see, attack everyone in the world? Like, where are these feelings coming from, right? You generally don't have to ask yourself those questions if someone is like spewing that negativity and mean and cruelty to you to find out like, well, why do I feel this way? You feel this way because you're being attacked. You feel this way because someone is like generally like coming at you, and it's just like your response to like want to fight back or want to defend yourself or that kind of thing. So, but just know that like emotions are great. It's really easy to try to like tap into that self-awareness, use those skills that, we've talked about over the last, I don't know, few years, but recently this year I really talked a lot about self-awareness. So it's just helpful. It's just helpful. And it's an easier way. I feel like it's a way less messy way for you to just be like, okay, what's going on? Why do I feel this way? What needs to happen? How can I change this? Why is this affecting me this way? Those kind of questions. But when it comes to being like the bigger person, right? So if someone's like coming at you and saying negative things and complaining or whatever it is, being kind really is key. Really is key. I also believe it's more difficult to be kind when someone is doing the opposite to us, right? I feel like it's easy to be kind when we're like in a mood because we just kind of like, you feel like you just kind of like turn it on for a minute. But when someone is like literally spewing like negative word vomit at you, it is so difficult to keep calm and to be kind. And to just like not get too emotionally charged and overwhelmed and just want to like be a mirror to them and start like spewing it back. Like so much self-control is involved. And I always want to give myself a pat on the back when I do it well. And you should do that too. But because it feels very much like an eye for an eye kind of situation, but that's not the right move. That's not the move. But we've all heard it before. You want to like rise above it. You want to be the bigger person. You want to show them who's better. And if those phrases like really connect with you and help you keep your cool and be kind, then great. Go along with that. But I'd also ask you to consider being nice to those that are mean to you because they clearly need it, right? They decided to spew negativity your way on purpose, on purpose. So they must be going through something, struggling in their own emotional journey, or unsure of the most appropriate way to handle their own conflict and unpleasant situations. And they must be going through it. I feel like the people that are, you know, really trying to attack other people because of the pain they're going through, because they don't know how to handle and manage their own emotions and their pain. They're throwing it back at everyone else, projecting. And those are the people that need the most kindness and love because they probably aren't getting enough of that to realize that what they're doing is not the best way to go about it. So, either way, though, let's get in the practice of giving people grace. It can be hard sometimes because you're like, really? This is really? Really? That's like the thing that goes to my mind. I'm just like, really right now? But it's really good to give them grace and allow them to either realize that their reaction wasn't warranted because you didn't respond similarly. A lot of times when someone starts being negative to you or being like mean to you and then you reflect that back, they're like, okay, great, I am on the same like playing field right now of emotions. This is what I thought was supposed to happen and it's happening. But if you don't respond in that way, they're like, oh, did I think I read the room wrong, or what happened there, right? um so they might do that. They it'll be so helpful to just have, it may or may not happen. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a hopeful thing. It's a hopeful thing that they will realize that their reaction wasn't warranted, or to just experience kindness that might help them reflect later. So maybe you're just kind to them even though they're mean, and then later it just comes up in their mind. They're like, man, I was really rude and they were really nice, and that was really great. And maybe that'll help them to be nicer to people in the future. Because we never know how we impact people after the fact. Even a smile can be life changing for someone. And I know that might sound cheesy, but it's true. And that's why I do try to smile often at people, like strangers on the street and when I'm going out. I understand, like, this is not a campaign for me to tell you, like, you need to smile all the time. Absolutely not. Because there's lots of time where I don't want to smile. I literally was telling my husband the other day, like, I don't want to be happy all the time. Sometimes I just want to be content. And that doesn't require a smile. I'm just like chill, content, just just cool. That's how I'm feeling. So anyway, it's just a smile can be so life changing, but just extending kindness to someone that you don't feel deserves it, that's not really your judgment call to make, since we all deserve respect and love and care, every single one of us. But it can be so helpful because it might impact them later. Even it might even take years because maybe like there's just like a stack on stack on stack of people being kind to them when they're being mean, and then they realize, oh crap, like I really need to change my ways because thank goodness all these other people were kind and really showed me that I could be kind in these kind of situations. That kind of thing. It's hopeful. It's highly positive, but it definitely happens for real. So, just keep that in mind. So let's jump into the tips I have for you on how to be nice to others when you really don't want to. I have 5 quick ones to share with you today that I hope will help you be nice when you don't want to. And this is for both, like if you're just in a mood or if someone is like attacking you with their negativity. This should help for both ways. Okay, so the first one is smile and stick with short responses. I wanted to start with the easiest one because I'm pretty sure this is the easiest one in the whole list. Yeah. Um, the easiest one for you to apply to both whether you're in a mood or you are being attacked verbally. So sometimes you'll really struggle to like know what to say. So it's best to stick with just smiling and responding with okay. Like if someone's like you're terrible or you did this really bad or blah 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 and I can't believe you did that. You're just like okay. And it actually might like set them off a little bit more. Just kind of be aware of that because people are expecting you to reflect their emotions. They're expecting you to fight back. And that's another reason why you shouldn't, because you want to kind of diffuse the situation and be like, let's just chill for a second. Like, I don't think this is like life or death because it generally is not. So you could respond by saying, okay, maybe like, thanks for asking, but I am unable to attend, help be there. So this would be in a situation like if you're in a mood and someone asks you to do something and you're like, thanks, but that's not me. Thanks, but that's not me. In like the nicest way, right? You're just like, thanks, but no. Because you're entitled to that. You're entitled to also have boundaries and not have to give a reason and validate your reason for like why you're not going to participate or in whatever it is. That is your right. If they're unwilling to abide by that and respect that, that's on them and they need to figure that out, right? And if they decide to be hurt about it, it's on them. You didn't cause that. They chose to feel that way. Just remember that. You could also say, I hear what you're saying. Like if someone's saying negative things, you are like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like I hear it. I'm getting it. Or even, thank you for telling me how you feel. I feel like that one's also unexpected because like if someone's saying terrible things to you and you're just like and you just like the only thing you say is thank you for telling me how you feel. They're probably going to be like, what the heck? What how are you saying this? How are you not yelling back? But it's so helpful. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So um try some of these like short ones, but just make sure that when you are just if you want to use this like smile and short response kind of thing, make sure that you refrain from saying sorry if you didn't do anything wrong. Like if you actually didn't do anything wrong, it's unnecessary. Don't say sorry, okay? Like it's you are not responsible for their emotions. They choose, just like you, how to feel, how to react, how to respond, and that's on them. Also, if you don't feel like smiling, which I know some people just don't, and that's totally fine, find an expression that will convey being nice that works for you, that won't maybe get annoying comments that you have like resting bee face, unless you really don't care about that. But some people that really bothers them because you're like, I'm not trying to be that way. Um, Sometimes that bothers me, and most of the time it doesn't because I'm just like, yeah, I probably did. Because I'm just thinking so deeply. I'm like, oh. Anyway, if you don't like smiling all the time, totally fine. I'm not going to hold you to that. Just find an expression that seems very chill, inviting. They can come across as kind. Okay, so number two is ask yourself how you can be your best self for this amount of time and do it. I came up with this one because it came in clutch for a time where I had to go spend time with someone that I really wasn't looking forward to. And it's always like an emotional drain for me. And I decided that this time I was going to be like, okay, instead of like going into it dreading it, instead of being like annoyed the whole time or just feeling super depleted, I was like, how can I go in being my best self for the time I was with them and be fine, right? So, this might also require you to like refrain from speaking on certain subjects with people. That's fine. That can help you become your best self without falling into a cliff of something that you're super passionate about and you will fight someone over. So you might need to refrain from certain subjects or just need to be a good listener for them, right? That's the route I chose, is just to listen, just to be there for them. Or you need to keep your appearance short. I kind of used that tactic too. I was just like in and out. I was like, listen, gotta go, but I was here for you. So that can really help you too. You can still be your best self. You can be super kind and there for them and endure whatever they're telling you, whatever the emotional baggage is, but then not feel so worn out and feel like you need to respond in a way that is not the best way. So you're just being kind because you're like, I need to be kind. I can be my best self for this amount of time. I can challenge myself to do what is right and make it through. I feel like it's really just discipline. We're talking about discipline right now. Like, okay, I'm going to be my best self for this amount of time and it's going to be awesome. Um, and I like to tell myself that being kind, like right now, is about helping the other person, which is a gracious thing to do. Me being kind to this person that I kind of was like, oh, I don't know if I want to deal with this right now, is a gracious thing to do. And you're like, okay, it's gonna be okay. I'm doing it for them. They need this right now, and I would be so happy if someone was to be there for me, even though they don't care anything about what I'm talking about. Um, but they're there to listen, and I appreciate that. And sometimes pushing yourself to be the best version of yourself can help you genuinely slip into that person, meaning you might actually genuinely just feel like in the mood to be kind and happy and fine and maybe better than you were when you started, which is great. It's a great bonus. However, I want you to know that there might be people that still claim you weren't nice because you didn't go above and beyond, but that's on them because you said, "I'm going to be nice and do what I believe is nice, but I'm not here to fulfill your people pleaser role," right? Boundaries. And I feel like some people will say that you weren't nice because you didn't reach these high expectations and push yourself into the ground like someone that is a people pleaser would. And believe me, I can say that because I've been one for years. They do too much, right? And so if that is their expectation of what being nice is, then of course you're going to fall short, and everyone should fall short because we shouldn't be living in that people pleaser kind of lifestyle where that's the expectation. That is like the hoop that we have to all jump through. So, if they don't like the way that you've decided to be kind and nice, and it was actually genuinely kind and nice, then that's on them. They need to check their expectations and realize unknown expectations on people are also very, 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 very unfair. Very unfair. Okay, number three. Number three is be honest with how you're feeling. Of course, I'm going to drop in one that's all about vulnerability and really just tap it into let's just be who we are right now. So, this can break the ice a bit and loosen the burden on needing to force yourself to be overly nice to get through the experience, right? So you're just like, hey, maybe you tell the person how you feel when they did or said whatever it is. So someone is like, kind of attacking you verbally, and you're just like, hey, I just want you to know that by you calling me names or telling me I'm terrible at this, that, and the other, it makes me feel, it doesn't make me feel, it causes me to feel, because no one makes you do anything, you choose. But it brings up emotions in me that feel disrespected and unloved. And I don't like that. And just being very honest with them. Now, I cannot promise that they will respond positively to that. Unfortunately, some people will just use that as like, to make the flame bigger, but it could really help, just kind of like even it out and them realizing that they are hurting you and you're being honest and vulnerable about that. And they're like, oh, okay. Because maybe they thought they could just spew all this stuff because they thought you were super strong and you could just take it. You can tell them that um, or they'll realize they are hurting you and they'll try to do it more, which then you'll probably have to find a way to end that experience with them. You could also tell them that you're not in your best mood and trying to find your way out of it. So if you feel like you need to force yourself to be kind, but you're in like having a bad attitude kind of day, you can just be honest with them. Be like, hey, I am like having like not a great day. I'm trying to get myself in a better mood. I just want to let you know that I'm trying not to let it affect anyone else, but that's just where I am. Honesty and vulnerability, two things I am in love with, can go a long way with people understanding you where you're currently at. And I think that if a lot of us knew, like understood where we all were currently, like we're all currently, we would have so much better communication because people would be just honest and they'd be like, oh, that's where you're at. And not feel responsible for like fixing the situation or even helping them, just to understand that, like, oh, they're having a hard time. I might decide to change the way that I'm going to interact with them because they decided to trust me and telling me that information. And that's a really cool thing to do. You know what I mean? So, honesty and vulnerability can go a long way. Sometimes you'll get nothing, a lot of times you'll get something. And it can help you be nice when you don't want to because it also kind of like releases this like weird fog because you're like, listen, this is just how things are going. This is how I'm feeling. Maybe this will help with our interaction a little bit better. You know what I mean? Um, and it just feels easier to be nicer when you're honest with how you're doing. You're like, this is the amount I can give right now. And that's great. Okay. So number four is remember you're the only one in charge of your emotions. And I know I talk about this a lot. And because it's important, right? It's really important for us to remember. Also, I talk about it a lot because I still find people on the internet that tell me that this is wrong and that other people are responsible for their emotions. And they tell me that even counselors would agree with that. And I'm like, no, they wouldn't. So I repeat it because I think that we all need this reminder. And there's still people that do not know this, that you are the only one in charge of your emotions. So if someone is being mean to you and maybe projecting their negativity onto you, you do not need to accept blame or feel the need to fix their problems, because their problems are their problems, right? Their mood is their mood. Your mood is your mood, right? You do not need to shoulder their burden. You don't need to fix their problems. Just listen to what they have to say. And if a response is required, um, ask for some more time to respond if you can. That's a great tactic, just to be like, can I just take like a little bit to, respond to this because I don't know exactly what I want to say. So ask for some time to respond so the situation can kind of die down a little bit, right? Um, or just end the interaction like altogether as calmly as possible. Because if someone is just like really coming down on you and you ask for a breather, or you even respond in the way I said in like number two, where or number one, where you're just like, okay, or thank you so much for sharing how you're feeling, and they don't appreciate that response, you might just need to make the decision to end that interaction, just like kind of walk away. And I know you're probably thinking, Sabrina, how is that an example of how to be nice when you don't want to be nice? Well, you're still doing it in a nice, respectful way, okay? Because you don't have to take any abuse. You absolutely don't. Verbal or physical or whatever, emotional, like, no, you do not have to. You get to end it, and that is your way of being kind, is to not reflect what they're doing onto them, and just to be calm and be like, okay, I think we're done here, and just leave. And that is a way of showing kindness because you're not just retaliating back to them. If you're in a mood, then know that it's your responsibility to change that. And no amount of rudeness to others is going to really shift that. So, again, there's no reason to go back and be mean to strangers. There's no reason to reflect being mean or being rude to someone else, because it's not going to change anything. Being rude to someone else because someone's rude to you, or you're just having a bad mood, it's a temporary misplace of emotions that don't solve the core issues at all. You know, it's temporary because you're like, oh, this is your fault, or I'm so upset, or this is not good. But then it doesn't solve anything. You're just kind of like throwing them out there and they're kind of going to boomerang back. You know what I mean? So you're the only one in charge of your emotions. If someone is spewing hate at you, negativity, you can just listen and then ask for more time to respond, or you can end the interaction as kindly and respectfully as possible. If you're the one in the mood, you cannot and you should not be projecting your feelings onto anyone else, and just realize you need to keep yourself in check so that you are not um, putting that out on other people that don't deserve it. There's no reason. You need to check yourself. Okay, so number 5, the last one that I have to share with you today, is ask yourself, what's the cost of being nice right now? What's the cost of being nice right now? Usually the answer is nothing. Kindness is free, like absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything. But in this case, it might cost you the high ground in like an argument. So if you're going back and forth with someone and they're starting to get really aggressive or upset or whatever, if you decide to just be kind and be like, okay, or thank you for sharing, you might feel like you lose the high ground in that argument because you're not continuing to be aggressive back. But it'll help you kind of get out of that. It'll help it kind of like dissolve and diffuse the situation. It'll also show them that you're not just like trying to retaliate and get them back. You're trying to be kind and respectful, and you want this communication to be like an equal communication kind of situation. You know what I mean? So yeah, it might cost the high ground in an argument, or a moment without thinking about your own struggles, that it might cost you that, which is actually a good thing. So if you're in a mood and you decide, okay, I'm just going to be nice to this barista because there's no reason I need to be mean to her just because I'm having a bad day. And by being kind to someone else, it gives you a break from thinking about your own problems because you are actively being nice to them. And that's bringing a smile to them, which is also bringing a smile to you because when we do things that make other people feel good, we also get those good feelings, that dopamine high. So it's just it's a positive benefit for sure. So yeah, taking a break from thinking about your own struggles to be nice to someone else or help someone else, that can kind of like even like bust your mood open and help it like dissolve and kind of like melt away a little bit. So ask yourself, what's the cost of being nice? Generally, the answer is nothing, minus maybe like being the person that said I'm right or I won the argument or I can't sit here and stew in all the bad things that have happened to me today, which is good. Which is good because stewing on things that have happened that you cannot change, it's pointless. I promise you, it's pointless. But that's all I have today. And my voice is wearing. I apologize. It's because I sang on the worship team today and really like, and my voice is just tired. But, you know, I don't think it's as bad as it's been in the past though. So we're still in there. But anyway, thank you for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast again with me, Sabrina. I thank you for listening, downloading, and sharing the show. Again, check the show notes below for how to find me on socials, sign up for the weekly newsletter, submit anonymous topic suggestions, send emails, all of the things. And until next time, have a good one, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.